this is Adrian Alex Paul. Welcome back to another video of Great Writer's Tips to become a great writer. Tip number 5. Don't get stuck in your own writer's bubble. Now this one is similar to tip number 4, which is don't be afraid of criticism, but this one goes a little bit deeper. So if your writing is that bad, you have to recognize it and go back to the drawing board. Now, if you keep going back to the drawing board, trying to, fix whatever is wrong with your writing, maybe it's boring or just, everyone says it's bad and you just can't make it any better, then at that point you have to recognize that maybe I'm not cut out to be a writer. Maybe I need to go into a different profession. So let's get into a few more details and not waste any more time. Okay, here, let me expand on some ideas of how you can pop your own writer's bubble. Now, the big thing is don't be stubborn, blind, or delusional. Now, probably you might already be that and not recognize it. So in a way, like in Alcoholics Anonymous, they say the first step to correcting your problem is to admit you have a problem. And this goes beyond, someone criticizing you and not being able to take criticism. This is to the point where you believe that everybody is wrong, only you are right when it comes to your work or writing, that you can do no wrong, and, you are the greatest writer of all time and everybody's just out to get you and no one else can see how genius your writing is. If you're that person, then you're in big trouble because your writing is going to suffer. Now, a way to, realize you might be one of them people is if everybody says the same thing except you and you say the opposite, then it's you. Think of it like this. Don't be like the bad singers on American Idol. So I'm sure you've seen the show where they go on and they do an audition to the 3 judges and they're singing their song and you're watching from your sofa, the TV from your living room. Now, you hear that they are horrible. They cannot carry a tune. It's like 2 cats fighting in the back alley. It's bad. But they're singing as if they are the greatest singer of all time. And when they're done singing, your ears are bleeding. It's so bad. You recognize that they're horrible. And it's a joke. So when they're done singing, the judges are like, listen, I'm sorry, you're horrible. You can't even carry a tune. You're tone deaf. You shouldn't even be a singer. Stop it. Go back to something else. Be anything. You can be anything, but not a singer. And then what do the people do? They're like, what? You're crazy. I am the greatest singer of all time. You don't know what you're talking about. You guys are dumb. You don't know how to judge. So you're telling me that this guy who can't sing is telling 3 professional judges who are in the music industry that they don't know what they're hearing, but yet you at home agree with the judges that this guy is horrible. Well, guess what? You might be that guy who can't sing and not even realize it. So you gotta play even those people who can't sing probably go home and watch the rerun of that episode and they hear themselves singing very badly. And they might realize, oh my God, it's true. I cannot carry, a tune. I'm horrible. I need to go back to whatever. Or they're so delusional, blind and stubborn that they watch their, replay and they're like, I am the greatest singer of all time. Those judges still don't know what they're talking about. I hear myself and I sound great. So, with your writing, when people criticize you, I'm sure you heard of that phrase, don't let this be the hill you die on. Like, meaning, don't be so stubborn all the time on every little thing when people criticize you. And, die in every hill where, like, some guy's like, yeah, but I don't like this character. What? This is the greatest character of all time. You don't know what you're talking about. Or, yeah, this opening, I'm not sure about. This is the greatest opening of all time. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't do that. You got to step back. Look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes. And be like, hey, am I what I'm doing, what I'm writing, is it really that good? Or am I just hyping myself up? Am I just that delusional? So anyways, remember you have a biased view about your work in your bubble. That's why in my previous tip 4, I say like, don't be your own worst critic. Like you can't, because someone else is always going to criticize you worse than you possibly can. And some people are like, what, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? Of course I am my own worst critic. No, because you have a biased view about yourself. So you can't criticize yourself fully if you're blinded to your own work. But somebody outside of the bubble is not blinded, doesn't have a biased view. They don't care about you. Like, even if they're your friend, if they're your true friend, they would tell you the truth. If they were a fake friend, they would lie to you and say, yeah, it's good, or this is the greatest work of all time. And you're only going to write worse and worse and worse because you're even more delusional now. But if it's just some stranger, they don't care about you. They don't care about your work. They're going to give you their honest opinion. And they're not going to have any feelings toward you, if the criticism is bad. So you can't give a true criticism about yourself because you're in your own bubble being biased. But someone outside the bubble is not biased. So they're not blind. They're not delusional. They will tell you 100% if you suck. So that's what I meant. So critics outside the bubble have a different perspective in view. So what I mean is, you always have a view from, like, of yourself or of your writing. But you're not really stepping outside. You're not stepping in a different angle and looking at your work from a different view, from a different way. So that's why you think your work is so great and everybody else is just don't know what they're talking about. So you got to figure out how to, like, take a deep breath and look at your work from a different view, a different angle. And then you will, like, realize, you will start seeing your work for what it really is and be able to judge yourself without a bias. So this is very important. Try to figure out a way to just, take a different perspective. Take a different view from your work. So let's continue. So here are some other points I want to elaborate on. Don't fight criticism with more criticism. Now, if someone is criticizing you, don't instantly attack and be like, you're stupid, you know what you're talking about. Like, are you going to do that with everybody? Like, what if the person who is, like, reviewing your work is a famous author or just an author who has sold way more books, more successful than you? Are you going to not take his opinion or his criticism, like, to heart? Are you going to just dismiss him? So even he doesn't know what he's talking about, but you do? Then why is he so successful and you're not? So the way to handle criticism is to basically say, okay, thank you. And what am I doing wrong? And then they tell you what you're doing wrong. Like, why does it suck? If they just say, oh, it sucks, it's horrible. Instead of attacking them, be like, well, why is it horrible? And if they, are truly telling the truth and not just trolling you, they will say, well, listen, this character I don't connect with him, or the ending is predictable, or your dialogue is stupid. It's like something you know, a 5-year-old would write, and the scene is too serious and the dialogue is too jokey. Now, if they respond with that, then you'd be like, okay. And then you go back to the drawing board and you listen to what they said and you fix it. You make the dialogue more serious. You change the ending. You make it less predictable. You make the characters connect more with the audience. That's how you fight criticism, is accepting it and going back to the drawing board and actually applying the criticism the person gave you, fixing your mistakes. Next, recognize a critic from a troll. I explained to you what a critic is someone being genuine about their opinion. Like, yeah, at first they could be vague and be like, yeah, your work sucks. But then if you ask them, well, be more specific. Why does it suck? And if they give you legitimate, specific reasons that apply to your writing, and you go back and fix it, great, that's a critic. But a troll is just someone who wants to hurt you and is probably has his own problems, being jealous that they've never accomplished anything, they've never written anything. You know, they just don't care. And then they're like, yeah, your work sucks. And then you say, why? Because it sucks. Can you be more specific? It specifically sucks. Can you point out something in my work that specifically sucks? Yeah, that guy. What guy? Yeah, whatever, it just sucks. That's a troll. Don't get confused between them, because that's only going to make you be in your own bubble more, make you more delusional. Next, find out if you're not cut out for this job. Now, this might be a little bit, kind of sad or, reality check. But if you're going to be stuck in your bubble and you're not willing to fix it, you're not willing to take any of my tips, you're only going to be, stuck in there forever, and your work is going to suffer. And if you're not even willing to pop the bubble, then you got to realize you're not, maybe this is not the profession for you. Because if you keep going back to the drawing board and you can't fix it, let's take a different scenario. Let's say you pop your bubble and you take everything into consideration and you go back to the drawing board 100 times. You keep coming back and, you get reviews or critics and they say, listen, you did go back to the drawing board. I will give you that. I will, commend you for that. But your work still sucks. I'm sorry. Yes, you did fix the ending. Yes, you did fix the character and the dialogue. But it still sucks. I'm sorry. You just don't have it. You got to realize that. So after you try everything possible to fix it, to make it better, you pop the bubble. You're a clear mind. You're not blind. You're not stubborn. You do everything you possibly can to be the best writer you can be. And you still suck, then you can't be a writer. You gotta go do something else. Like those guys on American Idol. Let's say they're not that crazy guy who believes everybody's out to get him and he's the greatest singer of all time. Maybe he goes back, watches his replay, and he realizes, damn, I do suck. I'm going to go take some singing lessons. I'm going to go work out and run and work on my voice, build up my diaphragm, my lungs, my air capacity to, be able to hit like better tones and notes. And I'm going to do my best and sing. And guess what? I still can't sing. Well, guess what? Go do something else. You just got to face the music. So let me just point this out. If 10 people say you suck, then you suck. That's a way to know if you're stuck in your bubble. If everybody says you suck, and you're the only one who thinks you're the greatest in sliced bread, it's you. You suck. So that's a way to figure it out. Finally, step back, evaluate your work, and accept the truth. That's what I was saying about You got to just look at it from a different perspective. You got to look yourself in the eyes and ask yourself, am I really a good writer? Am I really a writer? Should I even be a writer? You got to step back and evaluate your work as if you're somebody else. Because if you're stuck in that bubble, you're never going to see the truth. You're never going to see clearly. So you got to evaluate yourself from a different angle. So that's what I mean. I hope all this helps. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share, like this video. Comment down below. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, trying to grow the channel. Hit the notification bell. We got a lot more writing tips and creative writing, work coming out. So until next time, remember my motto, and I hope you apply this too, where story comes first.